Hello everybody, I hope you're doing good today. This video will contain copyrighted material being used underneath the Fair Use Act for educational purposes. Well, flat earth, it's all about the money. Whether you see it or not, it's all about the money. Now, I'm going to show you that here in this video. Back in December, after Mark did that Good Morning Britain interview, he acted like he was all butthurt and people were being mean to him, and he took off and didn't want to do Patricia's show anymore and all this. That was all created bullshit they did. Just created drama. Mark took some time off. That's all it was. But they decided to use that opportunity to create drama, to try to make me and others feel bad for exposing Mark. But that's all it was. But anyways, when Mark came back, they act like they didn't know what's going to happen with this documentary that they now know is going to be released on their Canada Film Festival. And then Mark and Patricia are going to go there and try to sell this to Hollywood. And they're sitting here in several different shows trying to tell you that, hey, getting a show, a flat earth show with Hollywood is a good thing. Nothing good comes out of Hollywood. They're selling their soul for money. That's all they're doing. They don't give a shit about flat earth. They don't care. I mean, they're leading you to believe that for the last 3 years, they're both unemployed, and for the last 3 years, they've been spending money left, right, and center to travel the world for flat earth. They ain't paying for this shit. They're being paid to turn this into a business. We all know that the reality TV show has been in the works for a long time. Since these two hooked up, it's been in the works. But listen to Mark here as he talks about the documentary, and they act like they just signed on the bottom line without even reading the contract or anything else, or wanting to know what this documentary was about and all that. It's all bullshit. They knew exactly what they were getting into. And they know they have to go to Canada and try to sell this documentary to Hollywood. But what you all don't understand, there isn't just this documentary. There is also their reality TV show that they signed a deal for. Let's listen to this.
Their team is working on editing. They're working on it. It's absolutely going to be released. Question is, who's going to distribute it? And where's it going to go? Is it going straight to Netflix? Is it going, somebody going to try to remake it into something else? Is it going to end up being like this giant demo reel that all of a sudden we have to do it all over again?
He's talking about the documentary. No, this documentary isn't even going to be a documentary. It's going to be a mockumentary. It's going to be a lot like that Convex Earth documentary. That wasn't a documentary. And Mark and Patricia want you to believe that for the last 3 years, they've been spending their own money to travel around for flat earth around the world. They ain't making any money off of trying to sell this to Hollywood. But you will see they're lying their asses off, because they just admit right after this that they signed a deal for a reality show.
Because a major studio wants to pick it up, who knows? But they're still working on it.
And a new team has contacted you and I and others.
Yep.
I talked to them today.
Yep. They're thinking about reality television.
Reality television and going to the quote-unquote edge.
Yeah. There you go. They signed a deal for a reality TV show also, including this documentary. But Mark and Patricia want you to know that they're not making a single penny off of this. They're doing this out of the kindness of their own heart. They signed a deal with the devil, sold their soul, but they're not going to get paid for it. If you believe these people, I really feel bad for you. You might as well go out and freaking eat grass with the sheep. Because this is nothing more than turning flat earth into a multi-million-dollar business. And these people are the founders of that business. But there you go. They got the documentary coming out, and they sold their soul already to Hollywood. Patricia seems to think we need to do this. We need to do this Hollywood TV show to wake more people up before we do any activism. Well, activism wakes people up. That's the reason you call it activism, Patricia. But these people are just interested in money. Patricia tries to act like a poor soul that's just struggling like everybody else through life. She's a millionaire. You know, her house is $500,000. Her car's another $70,000. She spends probably at least $20,000 on her face a year. Probably spent more than that this year, because if you look between here and her newest videos, she got a nose job. Her nostrils are smaller. She's got more of a point right here at the nose, and this width, she lost all that width. Her nose is pretty narrow now. She had a nose job about a month and a half ago when she disappeared for 3 weeks. You know, these people are not poor. They're not struggling. They're not going through the same struggles we are as slaves. They're living the high life. And they're trying to get even richer off the flat earth community. So let's move on now to IPS. IPS is trying to raise $500 so he can debate Stefan Molyneux, as if it takes $500 to debate it. Why does IPS need $500? Well, that's because he wants to donate that money to Freedom Main Radio, which I think Stefan Molyneux owns. So if Tim Osmond gets this debate with Stefan, he will give Stefan them $500. But that's never going to happen, and IPS is going to keep that $500 and spend it for himself. But yet these people sit here and try to tell you it isn't about the money. No, we're not in it for the money. But they're always asking for money. You know, and they all got their channels set up for Super Chat donations. It ain't about the money. No, that's why I got Super Chat, PayPal, Patreon, Amazon, all this other shit. But there you go. IPS had a GoFundMe page, but me and a couple of other people sent in complaints about it, and it got pulled. He had a GoFundMe page for this Stefan Molyneux offer, because that's what it was, an offer. So IPS is still ripping people off for money. Let's move on here. Oh, yes, good old Nathan Oakley. He's so proud of himself now. He's got t-shirts to sell. Listen to this nonsense.
So for those of you who are unaware, I've recently started a shop. And I'm not going to lie, I'm extremely proud of myself.
Extremely proud of myself for my cheesy shit.
And hopefully support my channel by purchasing things rather than just giving me money. And I've made my first sale, and it's 3 items. I'm delighted. I can't actually find out who it is, but a massive thank you to whoever has purchased these 3 items. I've sold a hoodie which has got Flat Earth QED written on it, along with a t-shirt that's got Flat Earth Debate on it. You can probably see on screen.
Look at that t-shirt. $18.99. If you try to buy a t-shirt in US dollars, it's going to cost you $40 just to get a freaking t-shirt. And he's proud of himself because he set up a cheesy website to sell cheesy freaking shirts. I mean, one of the shirts, he's got a picture of Arwen on there holding a sword. And you all know Arwen's freaking creepy as it is. I mean, seriously, man, it's all about money, folks. Nathan's proud of himself. It's laughable. You can see my comment down here, down below. It's all about commerce and consumerism and feeding the same system we're fighting, isn't it? Pull out your Bank of Israel credit card and buy crap you don't need, everyone. And that's the damn honest truth. You're feeding the same system we're trying to fight. We're trying to fight this consumerism, these private banks and their Bank of Israel credit cards and all that stuff, but yet they want you to use them to buy merchandise from them. So let's keep on moving here. You all remember Arwen. Now, one thing I noticed, this is like IPS, is what kind of shit IPS does. Created by Alex T. Well, we know that IRU created this. In fact, if you click on the website, it goes to IRU's YouTube page, Iru Landucci. But if you go back, it says the dude's name is Alex T. And this is a lot like the shit IPS used to do. But guess what, folks? Let me mute that. Guess what? Iru raised that money to do a balloon launch, and he was going to do it before the convention coming up in the UK so he could share his results for the convention in UK. But you know what happened? He got declined by his government. In other words, in his country, if you want to launch a high altitude balloon, you got to get special permission and a permit from the government. When Iru tried to do that, he was denied, refused permission to launch a balloon, but yet he still kept on going to raise the money. Okay? And then the next week after he raised that money, he got on Globebusters and he says, oh, I'm going to do this in September when our summer comes around. But just a week before that, he was going to do it before the UK convention so he can use the results at the UK convention. You know why he changed it to September? Because he was told by his government, you ain't launching no balloon here, sonny boy. So he just kept on collecting the money, and then he put it off until September. And I asked the person, well, what's he going to do? Well, he's going to do like everybody else does. Try to ignore it or put it off or make up some more excuses why he can't launch the balloon. So there you have it. He's asking for money to launch a balloon and is freaking, and he knew he ain't going to be able to do it. And why would you sit there and try to raise money for something you want to do 6 months, 7 months down the road? Huh? So there you go. It's all about the money. And you notice he didn't pull it at 1465. They almost raised double of what they needed. And Iru said he was going to send that money to a college or some institution, you know, where they teach people about the ball earth. That's what he said. He's going to give it to a college or an institution. Might as well give it to NASA, hey, Iru? So there you go. Iru is not going to be launching a balloon in his home country because his government said, hell no, you can't. But yet he still collected the money for it. All right, let's keep on going here because it's all about the money. You all know Jaron. He went to Jesuit school. They taught him real well. Listen to this bullshit here. Jaron's trying to tell you how to save 90% on cigarettes. Like if a smoker doesn't already know, it's a hell of a lot cheaper if you roll your own. So listen to Jaron here. He wants to save you some money so you could become a Patreon supporter. Listen to this bullshit.
What I say has no medical value, zero. This is simply a way to save money, and according to what I've read and my opinion, these cigarettes are better for you, they contain less chemicals and toxins, and will save you so much money that you can become a Patreon at patreon.com/.
So you could become a Patreon. There's no shame with this man here. It's all about the freaking money. No shame whatsoever. He's going to show you how you could save money. Like stop going to Starbucks and just give it to Jaron, you know? Do you see how ridiculous this is? And it's all about money. This just shows you it's all about money. But yet he gets 10,000 views and 600, 700 thumbs up for this bullshit. And people are, great video, Jared. It's fucking ridiculous. And he fucking peddles it at the end. It's all about, he wants money. He wants your money. He wants you to join Patreon and give him your money. That's all this was about. I mean, it's just total bullshit here. Let me find this at the end. Yeah, become a Patreon supporter. Here you are.
Please join my Patreon at patreon.com/Jaronism. That would be awesome. Or you...
So he thinks if he saves you some money, you should give part of it to him. Like I said, they taught Jaron well at the Jesuit school. Now next, here's Jaron. He seems to think that we need to file a FOIA request with NASA to try to prove that NASA's fake. I mean, there's so much video out there on YouTube that proves NASA's a fake. There's no reason to file this request. But Jaron wants the video from the spacewalk in 2006 when they hit the golf ball. Jaron wants all of the video to try to prove that NASA's fake. As if we don't know NASA's fake already. So he sends in this Freedom of Information Act request to NASA. And then NASA tells him, well, if you want this information, it's going to cost you $1,075. Okay? So then what do? They mention this on Globebusters, that NASA wanted $1,000 to give Jaron this video so he could try to prove NASA's a fraud. Like we don't already know that. Like we don't already have the proof to prove NASA's a fraud. But he seems to think this one spacewalk is, and the video that they haven't shown is going to be the proof to destroy NASA. What utter nonsense. You ain't never going to destroy NASA. And I'll tell you what, folks, if you go back to the Flat Earth Convention, Jaron said he was going to shut down NASA in 2018. How fucking laughable is that? I mean, that's egomaniac there, saying that kind of shit. But let's listen to him here. Let me see. Where's my little paper here? Here we go. Oh, that ain't it. Oh, that ain't it. Gotta find the right paper here. Oh, there it is. All right. This talks about Bob. He mentions maybe we should crowdfund this FOIA request and send $1,000 to NASA. Let's listen to this bullshit.
You know what I would do, Jaron, is I would try and crowdfund it, right? So if we crowdfunded it and then put it on somebody's credit card, like for example, if I put it on my credit card, so just in case they come back and say, oh, well, sorry, we can't do it, we taped it over, and then try not to refund it, at least you can go back to the credit card company and say, look, I paid for this and didn't get it. But the idea behind it is if we crowdfund it and force their hand, right? And
Make them clean it up.
Yeah, make them clean up and make them either fabricate it or do whatever, to this footage. Because obviously you wouldn't have requested it if you didn't think that there was something there to be seen, right? And that's also why you can't find it anywhere else. So I'm thinking, maybe we should try and just crowdfund it and get it anyway.
So there you go. They wanted to crowdfund it and get it anyways. So then what happened was a bunch of people, including this guy called Mixlix, gave him the money right away so that Jaron can send the money to NASA for the FOIA request and all that shit. All right? Now, this guy, Mixlix, he's given thousands of dollars to IPS and all of IPS's previous scams, okay? I mean thousands of dollars to IPS, and this is no joke. This guy's from Norwegian or wherever, and he obviously got some money to throw at people. So he throws 5,000 Norwegian dollars, which is about 630, 640 US dollars. So that's a good part of the money. So let's listen here.
Hey, we got a couple super chats in. Mixlix says, NASA, give up the tape at Jaron. He put in 5,000 NOK, which is over 600 US dollars. So that's awesome. Then
What?
we got
What?
we got another super chat from William Genske. He didn't say anything, but thanks to both you guys. And for everyone out there, we're almost to 1,500 live listeners. If you want to give the show a thumbs up if you're enjoying it, that'd be awesome. Sorry to interrupt.
So within a few minutes here, let me fast forward here.
Now is a green
Within
laser.
a few minutes, all kinds of money's coming in. Okay, now keep this in mind. In the last 2 months or so, Globebusters has raised for IRU and their bullshit well over $4,000 in the past few months, or past month probably. Well over $4,000. They got about 300 last week that I seen, another 1,100 there. That's 1,400 plus the 2,700 that IRU made. And none of this money is doing any freaking good for the Flat Earth community. Even if they send this money to NASA, which is fucking stupid. But that's what Jaron wants. So what Jaron wants, Jaron gets. Jaron needs money to move. He just comes on YouTube and cries his ass off, and people give him money to move. It's all about money, folks. In fact, I'll show you it's all about money because you know Jaron. You know, they taught him well in school. Listen to what Jaron says at the end of Globe Busters here. Now, keep in mind, the guy that gave Flat Earth, or the 5,000 Norwegian dollars, the 600 in US dollars, clearly said, let's get that tape from NASA. And all these other people did the same thing. They say, let's get that tape from NASA. Let's get that tape from NASA. Listen to Jaron at the end of the Globe Busters show yesterday.
I just want to say thank you so much to everyone. Thanks for the super chat, and Robert and Richard. And then Mixlix, I did send you a message, so get back to me an email, just finding out if you want me to go after that tape from NASA and kind of force their hand. We'll see.
He clearly said that's what the money's for. Now Jaron's got to ask because, see, Jaron wants to keep this money for himself because it's all about the money with Jaron. You know, if Jaron can save you $2, he wants $1 of it. There you go, folks. It's all about the money. They're trying to turn Flat Earth into a multi-million-dollar industry, a business. And all these entrepreneurs are trying to cash in. You know, I don't know how many channels there are that say they aren't in it for the money, but they got PayPal, they got Patreon, they got Super Chat set up, they got all this set up. It's all about the money. You know, I understand that it takes time and a lot of work to do a video. Even for me it does, because I got to watch and research all this shit that they're putting out. You know? And that some people post their PayPal. I understand that. But they don't sit there and harp on it. And then when they clearly give you money for to get the video from NASA, you got Jaron saying, hey, dude, do I really have to give that money to NASA? Because Jaron wants to keep it for himself. Because it's all about the shekels. Have a good day, everybody.